Bonjour tout le monde, j'espère que vous allez bien. Today I'm here to present a very important topic which haunts a lot of you, and that is expression écrite, the TEF Canada, the writing exam of the TEF Canada exam, which actually rests for an hour, and it is composed of two activities, section A as well as section B. So in this video I'm going to run you through certain tips and tricks and a bit more about this section, so stay tuned. So first let's talk about the section A. Now here in the section A, you will be given an article, the Fait Divers. What it means? Here you would be given a news article which you have to complete. Now this is how it appears. It looks as le début d'un article de presse, rubrique Fait Divers, et objectif est écrire la suite de l'article 80 mots minimum. So here you have to write the story. So basically you will be given few words and one phrase, two phrases rather I would say, and then you have to continue the story from that particular part. So this is how the consign tip looks like. So once this is written, this will be the second thing which will be written in the section A. So right now we are just on the section A. I have not come to the section B yet. So voici le début d'un article de presse. Terminez cet article en ajoutant à la suite un texte de 80 mots minimum en faisant plusieurs paragraphes. So basically you can see here, so they themselves have demanded you to add up your points, your creativity, your thoughts, and at least you have to write minimum of 80 points, 80 words, sorry, not points, and you have to put this in several paragraphs. Going forward, now let's talk about the section B. The section B, here you have to have minimum of 200 words. Now it's up to you that as much as you can write and you have a capability to type. However, there is no way I would recommend you to go beyond 300-400 words, because the more you write, the more mistakes you might end up doing, which we definitely want to avoid. And this is the consigne which is mentioned in the exam. Vous avez lu dans un journal l'affirmation suivante, and here you would have a question. Écrivez une lettre au journal pour dire ce que vous en pensez. Développez au moins 3 arguments pour défendre votre point de vue. So basically here you would be asked to give 3 major arguments, and you have to have 200 points minimum, 200 words minimum, not points, I'm sorry. And here the question will be mentioned that you have to write on. Before I move further to the tips and tricks of this particular part, I request you to please subscribe my channel, because when you subscribe I get to know that you're supporting me, and I really get motivated to develop a lot and lots of content for you for this TEF Canada exam, which is not apparently that difficult, and yes, it can make your dream come true to go to Canada without having spent lot for other sorts of visas. Let's continue our journey of this particular section. Now here I have taken this particular slide, this particular information from the official website of CCIB Paris, who conducts this exam, wherein they have mentioned that what exactly they look forward to. So when we take exam, we are generally lost that what exactly the ask of the examiner are. So I have mentioned a few of them here. For example, la qualité et l'efficacité de texte produit. So eventually your quality, the quality of the write-up that you're going to write, and also if your text is confusing, is it something which is coherent, is your idea is in sync with what is your subject is. This is what exactly you've been evaluated on. Now you can see that they do not have any such information that you have to write address, you have to write this information, you have to write that information, a particular piece of a grammar. No, Not at all. What they say, le respect de la situation, whatever situation you've been given, are you respecting that? Is your idea in sync with that? L'organisation générale du texte, like coherent and cohesion, that you do not want to start with something that, in the Fait Divers specifically, story in the reverse order. You don't want to do that. You want to first start with this has happened, that has happened, and then finally ended up. And if you want me to give you more tips and tricks and give you my samples, my copies that I used to write, please mention in the comment box, because I'm here to help you, and I'll be very happy that if in case you want to really crack this exam and you need any sort of my help, because that's the purpose of this channel and that's the purpose of me being here for you. Continuing, la clarité d'information ou de l'argumentation. So, l'argumentation, désolé. What does it mean? That generally people do digress. If it is about the internet, they talk about technology. If it is about the technology, they talk about robot. So, you have to stick to your points. Do not digress. And last but not the least, la capacité à développer nuance précise ses propos. So basically, are you able to make the reader comprehend about your points, and was it nuanced? Was it something you were in pour? Was it something you were in contre? What exactly your argument was about? So basically, detailed sum up of all this would have your evaluation based on. Going further, this is the grid which I have taken from the official website of the CCIP Paris too, and I'm also going to mention the link down below. So basically, your lithograph, spellings, lexique, the kind of vocabulary you use, and the third one is the lexique, l'orthographe et la synthèse que vous utilisez. So, par exemple, that whatever you use, whether it is grammar, whether it is vocabulary, whether it is the tenses that you're using, so everything is taken into consideration to understand your real level of French, because that is how you're going to get the ticket to Canada. So, these are the levels that that you would be evaluated on, whether you would get A1, A2, B1, B2 and C1 and C2. Okay, so after you know that your spellings are in place, you know that your tenses are in place, you know that your phrases are in place, you are ready and you're good to go. And yes, you need somewhere close to C1. Why I say C1? You need actually B2, but it's B2 basic or B2 upper, or we also call sometime as B2 plus, to get to that CLB 7, and that is a score that you have to score to get your ticket to Canada. Moving further from here, these are the certain examples that I have mentioned, and I request you to please have the lots and lots of response to me in the comment box. If you would like to take the demo from me, if you would like me to give you an answer of these questions, the questions I've taken here right now is from the official website of CCIP Paris, to tell you how the question looks like. Of course, in one exam there cannot be 4 questions. What I mean is that this is an example 1, this is an example 2, 3 and 4, and maybe you can write any one of these, put it in the comment box. I promise you I'll have this checked for you. I'll check personally myself also, and would share the feedback with you before you even appear for the exam. This is a strong advice that you must take a mock test, and maybe you can attempt all 4 of them. If you want to attempt one of them, that's fine, but please do attempt, so that you understand and you get into the habit of a format, that how it's going to appear. And these are the certain examples of the section B, how the section B looks like. These are the certain questions that again I have taken from the official website of the TEF Canada. So you can use these ones to practice, and feel free to write it in the comment box, the answers of this, or if you want me to post certain model answers, model examples of these questions, feel free to put it in the comment box and I'll do that for you. And this is only one liner like question, and then yes, you have to draft 200, 250, 300 points section B. So moving further, here are the tips and tricks from my end for the section A for you. Write minimum of 80 words, because that's something they have asked for. You cannot write less than 80 words. That's something that's not acceptable. And I would recommend don't go over and above 150. That doesn't mean that if it is 151 it's a crime, not at all. 180 to 150 something is advisable, because that's how you'll be able to manage time on everything, like section B also you have to focus on. Then formulate your article in several paragraphs. Don't just write like a bullet points, or maybe don't just write like one big paragraph and you sort it. Maybe you can write 2 to 3 paragraphs, and each paragraph should consist of 2 to 3 lines at least, not just one line, one paragraph, one line, one paragraph. That is nothing like a bullet points. Then the text must be short and at least have 2 paragraphs in it. What does it mean? That it cannot be very lengthy. You cannot have the story return and return and return, and there is no paragraph in it. So basically you have to put your text, keep it short, simple, and put it in the paragraph. Use lots and lots of adverbs and adjectives. Adverbs such as certainmo, absolumo, instantanemo, spontanemo. So like I have given you 4, but if you want me to make a separate video just on adverbs and adjectives, what I mean, please let me know and I'll put it in the comment box and I'll do that for you. Then comes the very last but not the least, very important piece of advice, that to always try and connect your opening, which is your question actually, with the closing, because that's how the reader gets an impression the entire piece of article was coherent and cohesion, as in it was well chained together. So this is a very important piece of advice, and you may take this away from me, that if you will do this, trust me, you would not be far away from getting B2 plus. Now this was about the section A. Section B, I would say stick to the point, do not digress, because as I have given an example before, people really, when we write, actually it's very easy to digress. We wanted to write something else, we ended up writing something else. So don't do that. Must use right connector logique. We should know where to use on a fait, where to use en plus. Maybe you want to use par ailleurs, you want to use en outre, or maybe you want to use enfin, en définitive, bien que, malgré, whatever you want to use, but you should know where to place them right. Just don't use it purposefully, use it at the right place, because that's what they are, logical connectors. State your opinion clearly. Don't confuse the reader. Don't confuse the examiner, because they are there to check your copy. They are not there to really get into something wherein you have ended up being like goofed up. They have asked you about the, let's say, vehicles, and they have asked you about the cars, and you've written something else. So don't get confused yourself first, I would say, because if you are sorted on your mind what points you want to write down, and if you jot on a pen and paper, which you will be given a brio, I would say, then it will be easy task for you to just stick to the point, and no need to write an address. I have used the word need. It's entirely up to you if you really want to spend your time in writing the address, in writing the date, like the letter format, it is mentioned, and generally we read such format in the DELF exam. Here in the TEF exam, according to the CCIP Paris, they really do not judge you basis on the address you write, because they know that you have crammed it up, and how would they evaluate you basis on your real French linguistic skill. So in case you want to put in the address, do that, but first finish your paper. Section B, section A, do everything once. You still have time, you still left with some sort of time, your typing speed is great and you still left with 5-10 minutes, throw in the address. Why to leave any stone unturned? Otherwise, no need. And merci beaucoup. So c'est tout pour aujourd'hui. And before I sign off for the day, I would also like to request you, soon I'm going to conduct another webinar, or maybe an activity which would definitely be for you guys, wherein you can write the Fait Divers there and then, and we would have a discussion on that particular piece of Fait Divers. Apart from that, if you want, you can write it on the comment box that what all questions of Fait Divers, or maybe section B particularly, is something that you struggle with, because that will give me an idea to make a video on those particular topics. And don't forget to subscribe my channel. Hope to see you in Canada soon. Merci. Au revoir.